Hello and welcome back to Unmodded for our beta patch 1.3.0. So this is obviously the patch that is coming out with war sales, and that's the reason why I wanted to try to get a pretty big handle on it, make sure that we know exactly what's going to go down, and obviously to provide some feedback as a result too, because maybe we don't agree, maybe we want to see some changes in this regard. You know, it's actually pretty important that we do that, because then we're actually maybe going to see something that we want a little bit more than what we had beforehand. Do I want these? Yes, sure, why not? Now, I am actually being offered a mercenary contract from Rajaya herself, and you can see here that she's actually willing to pay us 115 per influence point. I actually think that this is not that good. This is not a particularly good mercenary contract. However, I'm going to take it. I am literally going to take it just because it's a mercenary contract, and, well, if they're offering it, I might as well go for it, right? Might as well. There is very, very little that I'm going to be losing here, and if I'm going to be fighting people anyway, which I generally am going to be... Oh, what do we have here? A strolling minstrel offers to compose an epic ballad about your heroic deeds, potentially increasing your renown for a little amount of coin. Do you accept his offer? And if so, do you offer him any guidance on what to sing? And you can choose between let him do it and reward him generously, but tell him to describe your losses and faults as well. Or you don't need a bard to recount your heroic deeds. Or shower him with gold and tell him that he should feel free to embellish your story as he sees fit. Or tragic tales are always the most popular. Ensure the bard does not leave out the demon who sits on your shoulder, your bouts of madness, and the witch who foretold your terrible but heroic death. And so, indeed, there are some insane options and indeed rewards here. This is entirely what I'm talking about when I say these things, these options, and these results should provide us with big, impactful, consequences. So, in this case, look at this, we're gaining 20 renown. This is an extremely good event to get early on in the game. And especially now that I have become a mercenary, watch this. Look at that. 200 influence. I'm going to say yes, we're going to do this. We're going to lose 1,000 gold, but that doesn't matter because we are going to be gaining gold as a result of our mercenary contract. This is also partially the reason why I wanted to become a mercenary as soon as possible, because being able to get this event or any other events that provide us with free influence, this is absolutely amazing. Now, this is exactly what as I said before, it's exactly what I'm talking about. Big, impactful consequences for these events is absolutely paramount for satisfaction and enjoyment of the game, and I very much hope that they keep this particular event the way it is. It doesn't need to be changed in any way, in my opinion. The only thing that I would really love to see, I'm not sure if this is actually possible, to be honest, but I would love to see it be scaled. Scaled to your clan tier level, or scaled to a certain degree so that the renown is not lost on you, for example. Because let's just say that you're clan tier 5. Do you really care about 20 renown at that point? No, you don't really care about it at that point, because yeah, you do still want to get to clan tier 6, but 20 renown is not really going to do anything. You know, 20 renown is a small battle that you can easily have and easily win at that point in the game. But yeah, early on, this is absolutely fantastic, and we're going to be taking it. Boom, there we go. So we actually just increased our renown by an insane amount, and we also have 200 influence. Now, the 200 influence is now going to get converted. This is also the reason why I said I like a much better mercenary contract. But look at what we just got. Look at this. I literally just got 4,350 gold, and I had, what, 2,000 or something like that? But yeah, the timing could not have been better. The timing literally just worked out exactly perfect. So, literally, as you saw, us being able to immediately become a mercenary and then go in and do the thing that we needed to do, which was, of course, get the 200 influence from the event. absolutely amazing. Really, really fun. All right, so there is actually a bandit base here. We're going to do the stealth thing. I just want to explain a little bit more about the stealth as well, because some people apparently don't quite understand how that works. Because, okay, so here's the thing. I'd recommend, if you own the game, you can literally play the beta right now. You can actually play this right now. You don't have to have any special kind of access or whatever. You literally can just go ahead and play it, because I would highly recommend doing that if you want to try these things out, so that you can actually see what I'm experiencing as well. Obviously, you don't have to, you know, because I'm letting you know, and if you understand my words and what I'm trying to convey, then you'll get it, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're not quite understanding what I'm explaining, for example, this, I'm crouching right now, right? I am always crouching here. I am not uncrouching in any way, and now I'm attacking. You see? He automatically gets up whenever he attacks. This is not me getting up. This is not me exiting stealth. This is not me trying to get seen or anything like that. No, no, no. This is the game standing me up to perform the attack animation. Hopefully that's understandable now. Anyway, we're actually going to be attacking this guy in just a second. Once he turns around, hopefully we'll be able to do that. And I really, really badly want to see this actually provide roguery skill. And to a certain extent, I feel like it should provide us a pretty decent amount, to be honest. Okay, here we go, here we go. Nice. Instant kill. Let's drag him. Massive amounts of athletics, actually, as well. Pretty cool there. And bear in mind, we are getting so much more in athletics now, and so much more in one-handed, because these guys are mountain bandits instead of the standard looter archetype. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, there we go, there we go. And I'm gonna try to be a little bit audacious here. This might backfire pretty badly on us, but I am gonna try if I can. Nice. There we go. We just very quickly have to stand up and swing. You know, there's not much I can do about that. Okay, no, I'm gonna get seen. Oh, oh, no, no, no. Careful, careful. I'm getting seen by that guy a little bit. Gotta be careful. He's gonna see the body. He's gonna see the body. That's what he's gonna look at. He's gonna search the body, because I didn't drag it away, obviously. I didn't have the time really to do that. Now the question is, does he know where I am? He does not. This is perfect. Okay, the question is he gonna look around? Is he going to look around 360 degrees? It doesn't look like he is. Boom. Unfortunately, he's active. He's very active in his you know, machinations right there. So basically, he kind of knew that, yeah, there was someone around, and that made things very difficult for us. Yes, we actually had a little bit of a problem there on our hands, but no, it's fine. It's fine. We still do pretty massive damage with this, even when we've been seen. Obviously, the stealth attack instantaneously kills whatever we attack, which actually I'm wondering. Is there... I need to look at the roguery skill again, to be honest. I need to look at the roguery skill again. If I can see what the passive bonuses are, then I can make a little bit more of a, shall we say, a better judgment on what's actually happening there. Because if the... shall we say... If the roguery skill provides us with additional melee damage or additional sneak attack damage, I'm going to say this is not necessary. This is just absolutely not necessary, because just look at what I'm able to do here. I just one-shot killed this thing. I just one-shot killed him with minimal problems, and I have roguery, what, 15 or something like that? So generally, having roguery be 250, or, you know, whatever you're going to get it to eventually at some point, that additional sneak attack damage is just wasted. It's just huge overkill for no reason whatsoever. So that's another thing that I feel like you don't really need. You don't really need that. And that's the thing. You see, it's a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a quandary for the developer specifically here, because stealth attacks. Do you want a stealth attack to instantaneously kill your opponent? The answer to that every single time is yes, because of course you do. You always want a stealth attack to be able to kill, just because that's the nature of the stealth attack. If you have a situation where your player is going into a scenario and they are consistently able to land stealth attacks, but every single enemy manages to live, and then the alarm is triggered and everyone's running around and trying to slaughter them and all that stuff, you know, that is not a good look. That is unsatisfying. That is frustrating. So, of course, the stealth attack is going to kill instantly. That's what we want. But as a result, the additional damage that you get from roguery skill is wasted. There is no point in that. So I would recommend, if I can recommend anything, to make roguery skill do something a little bit different. We don't really need it to be... Oh, careful. Ooh, that is a... Whoa, this is a troublesome situation, actually, right here. Wait, is there another sentry somewhere? No. Okay, we can call troops, but I have to be very very fast. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no, am I gonna die? Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die here. Why is the barrel there? Can I ask? Why is the barrel there? You've been compromised. Mission failed. Yes, I know. Thank you very much. Sentries detected you and alerted the rest of the bandits. Bandits moved back into hiding before you could round up your troops. Okay, well, can I just ask something real quick? What was that? What was that? That was a bit of a weird situation because as I was obviously, you know, approaching the barrel, I couldn't actually interact. Did you notice that? I couldn't actually interact with what is the thing there? The bonfire or whatever it's called, the signal fire. I couldn't actually interact with that fast enough before I was detected to alert my troops. And as a result, we then got ourselves detected and killed. And I think that this particular layout or environment, I feel like is extremely difficult to actually use that bonfire, to use the signal fire, because it is right there. The opponent is right there. They're looking right at it. It's going to be extremely difficult to actually make that work. I'm not entirely sure if that's... I don't know if that's particularly good. I think we might need to change the positioning of that, because unless there is an obvious patrol or something along those lines, those enemies are always going to be there. It's going to be extremely difficult to make that work. But anyway, let's actually just, you know, simmer down a little bit here, and let's actually see what else we can go for. So let's we're not actually going to be using shields, so I guess I'll just take the cavalry thing. Another focus point in what? Another focus point in charm skill. Why not? Let's do that. And yeah, let's sneak in once again. So now obviously this is going to be, you know, kind of annoying that I have to do this again, but that's okay. I'm going to speedrun this. Alright, so that's the final enemy, and we just leveled up once again. I've actually leveled up twice now by going into this bandit hideout. It's actually hilarious how much experience you can gain if you find the right bandit hideout, of course. This is obviously one of the more mid-tier bandit hideouts. Now this is kind of the thing that I'm a little bit worried about right now. How am I supposed to do this when there are no, shall we say, camouflage grasses around? Look at this. Look at this. These guys are seeing me instantaneously. Look at this. What? Look at that. This guy is literally seeing me right now. Look at that. Look at how fast that is. I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to do that, because look at this guy. He's going to be right here. He's going to probably turn around in just a second. Yeah, he is. But now the thing is, there's a bunch of others, as you can see right there. Look at this. I think this this particular hideout is, I mean, I wouldn't say it's bugged, because obviously it's not actually bugged. I think that this particular bonfire has been placed in, shall we say, an incorrect location, or at the very least a location that basically makes it almost impossible for you to interact with this before you're seen by the opponent. Is there a way that I can distract these enemies, actually? Because they did say that there are distraction stones that you can use. Like, for example, these things right here. So there you go. I'm actually distracting some people. Am I? Or not? No, apparently not. Apparently I'm not distracting anyone right now. Okay, what about this? There we go. Okay, I distracted one guy. Well, that's not particularly useful, is it? What about this one? Okay, this guy is running... Is he running to me? Are these guys running to me right now? Yeah, I think they are, actually. Okay, so I'm going to have to run away from here once again. No offense, but I think that this is actually... I think this is actually not doable. I think it is actually not doable as it is, because you're just going to get seen. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could just try to rush it. You could just try to, like, just rush it and spam the button to be able to interact with that bonfire. But I do fundamentally believe that it is... It's not in the best place. Let's just say that. I don't think it's in the best place. What we're actually going to do is we're going to send in our troops to clear it. Your troops are clearing the hideout, 6 hours. I don't really want to do this because, for me personally, I find it a huge amount of fun to go in there and actually do some stealthy action. But it isn't really necessary for, you know, the quest for me to go in there and actually do that. And I do want to complete the quest, obviously, try to make sure that we get as much relation with as many notables as we can handle. And here we go, we have another random event. Your men spot several deer on the outskirts of the village, a rare thing in a land where meat and hides are valuable. The villagers tell you that there was an unusual crop of acorns this year, while fear of bandits has prevented them from hunting as they normally would. They invite you to shoot a few deer, as there will be plenty to go around anyway, and the beasts are trampling the crops. Alright, so free meat, a bit of fun and practice for your men. Sound the hunting horn. What do we do here? Get 3 loads of meat, party gains, 200 shared experience, 50% chance of 2 of your troops getting wounded. Alright, so... I think... Okay, so this is the thing with these random events. I think some of them are looking absolutely fantastic, like for example the previous one that we had where it actually feels impactful to get what you just got, you know, like for example 200 influence, 20 renown, getting that event early on, amazing, really great. That's a 10 out of 10 event right there. Apart from the fact that obviously if you get that late game, you don't really want that, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just saying for the early game, 10 out of 10. Anyway, Hunter's Paradise right here, I think this actually needs to be changed a little bit as well, because 200 shared experience I think is basically, that is nothing. I just want you to know that, you know, if you don't know, that is basically nothing. So yeah, we are going to do that. There we go. My party got disorganized. That's absolutely fine. I don't really mind about that at all. And party gained 200 shared experience. I just want to show you what 200 experience actually is, because if you don't know, then it's going to be useful for you at the very least. So as you see, we've got some Vlandian recruits right here, right? So you need 300 experience to level 1 recruit to a footman level, which is a tier 2 unit. Yes. And we just got 200 shared experience in that one event, which in my opinion is not good enough. I don't think that is I don't think that's particularly cool. I think the concept is cool, don't get me wrong, I like that a great deal, you know, any kind of concept that allows us to earn experience without going into battle, that is actually extremely fun, because that allows various other kinds of gameplay to exist. I'm mostly talking about trading characters, I'm talking about auto-resolving characters, I'm talking about things that literally, you know, all kinds of different playstyles that are available in the game, with the exception of obviously going into, yeah, actual combat, you know, because sometimes people do not want to go into combat. Maybe they want to play the game a different way, and providing the ability for players a different way to play, that is absolutely fantastic. That is what we want. We want different ways of doing things. So I'm going to be going for sprint here. That's going to provide me with additional combat movement speed when we have no shield and no ranged weapon equipped, which obviously I don't have. Well, I mean, I'm going to take away the shield now. I'm going to take away the spear and all that stuff. And we're probably going to get off our mount next time we go into a battle. But yeah, obviously we're not really going to be going into anything, you know, super significant that soon. At least I don't think so. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to try to get... the question is, do we want to... yeah, that's the problem. Do we... I'd like to get into another tournament because there is actually something I'd like to test out. Someone actually mentioned a really, really nice potential method for leveling up athletic skill. And I'd like to test it out because I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work for me specifically. And I'd very much like to see whether it does. So if we can find a tournament, that would be great. And obviously if we can't, then, you know, that's just how things are going to have to be. We might want to actually start raiding a couple of caravans here, because you can see here, armed caravan. These guys are obviously going to be extremely powerful, so probably not going to really be able to deal with them. I do need to get more recruits, so me going into Botanian territory is probably going to be the play here. Alright, so I've actually managed to capture, or not capture, but, you know, encounter one of these caravans. And indeed, I would love to be able to do some damage to them. I have been attempting to try and find some slightly more difficult opponents. What we're also going to do, I actually don't know whether I should really put him here. I think we will put him here just because, but what I'm actually going to do is we're going to create a caravan. We're going to create a caravan, and hopefully that is going to provide us with some pretty amazing profit as we're running around. Because obviously we're just running around randomly right now. You know, we don't really have any, you know, super specific goal in mind, because we now have the mercenary work, right? We now have the mercenary work, so generally we don't really need to rush in any, super hardcore specific manner. But all we need to do is make sure that we don't get ourselves completely and utterly murdered. So let's just see what happens here. These guys are obviously horse archers. That's going to be a bit of a problem with our shield wall here. It's going to be extremely difficult for us. Yeah, we might have an issue with these guys. Actually not doing too bad. I mean, the damage that I'm doing is basically negligible, but, you know, it's kind of surprising I'm even able to do anything. Hello there. Hello there, sir. Ah, yes, I did some damage to you. How do you feel? He doesn't feel particularly good about that. Okay, yeah, so we should be absolutely fine for now. Ah, yes, this is also perfect. Anytime cavalry decides to attack our forces, they will literally be 100% murdered, because we have spears. We literally have spears, and because we're in shield wall formation, our guys are going to be so much better. I'm actually wondering, can we do a spear brace? Because there are new spear bracing mechanics associated with them. So I'm wondering whether we can actually do that. Let me actually just see for a real quick second. I want to see what's actually happening right now. So let's have a look. What do we have? Is there anything I can do here that actually allows us to spear brace? Can I actually tell them to spear brace? It doesn't feel like that is the case. Transfer? Oh, I don't know what that does. All right, let's probably let's not press anything random here. We don't really want that to happen. Yeah, that doesn't seem to have anything going on with it. And then there's the line formation right there. I don't know why we would have line formation on F9. Why would that be a... I don't know, why would that be a command? Oh well, I'm going to tell my forces to charge in now, because why not? The enemy does seem to be mostly on foot. And, oh, I did damage? Alright, okay. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Well, there you go, I'm dead. Yeah, it's kind of to be expected at this point. I'm not really going for the survival here. I'm just trying to get the victory so that we can earn some more influence and things like that. And obviously I do want to go over to Botanian territory. Botanian territory is where it's at right now for us. And yeah, as you can see, there we go. 8.4 influence, 5.1 renown. Pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice amount of stuff. And we also, look at this. Look at what I just... no, I can't open the text box now. Oh, no. I really want to see the text box in just a second. Hopefully, it's going to still be there. Yes, it is still there. Fantastic. So, you can see here, because we attacked that caravan, we're getting 17 skill points in roguery. 17. That is actually record-breakingly good. I have not really seen a caravan pillaging go as well as that when it comes to roguery skill increases. Maybe it's because it's been a while since I've actually pillaged a caravan. That might be the case. You know, I might be, you know, overselling it a little bit, but actually, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. So far, I feel like that's pretty good. I like that a great deal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into Maranatha real fast. We're going to sell the various loot that we just got from the caravan, and we're also obviously going to sell the prisoners too. Look at the prisoners. We're selling them for 1,600. That's actually pretty insane. And also selling the prisoners for 1,600 does not provide us with any roguery skill, which makes me kind of question what's going on with that. Because look at this. I have 4 focus points in it, and I should, in my opinion at least, I should technically have an insanely easy time leveling this thing up, but I don't for some reason. Yes, I don't. But yeah, we're just going to put another point in it. And who's this guy? He's got roguery skill. He's got roguery skill, he's got charm skill, he's got scouting skill. He could technically be a really, really good caravan person. He's got some good steward skill as well. His trade skill is not that bad. Might actually be worth it. Let's try and see, shall we? Let's try and get him. Let's try and get him. There we go. Okay, and then we'll get a caravan immediately. So I wish to form a caravan. Thank you very much. And Davalan. Davalan will do it. Thank you. Ah, and here we go. As you leave Maranath, a young woman throws herself in front of your horse. She raises her face to the sky. Tears. I thought she was going to cry, but no. Tears is the word. English, isn't it a wonderful language? Both of these things are spelled exactly the same way. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, tears at her hair and wails that her young husband signed up to fight for you and was slain in battle. You took him from me, she screams. It is not clear what she wants. Okay, so tell her as soberly as you can that her father? What? No. That her husband gave his life for a noble cause. Hand her a purse of 100 dinars and tell her that you are sure that he would be happy if she marries again, as long as he remains in her memory. Increase his reputation for being fearless? Fearless? Really? I think that's... I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know why we would be in fear at this point, but okay. Dismount, burst into tears... There's the tears. There we go. There we go. Take her hands in yours and tell her that every life lost in your service tears at your heart. Even. Why? What is the fascination with the word tears in this particular event? I don't know. And that you want nothing more but for these wars to end. Or tell her that heaven expects her to bear her fate with dignity. Or have your purser speak to her at length about what she might need as you keep your distance. Party becomes disorganized. Why? Why would my party become disorganized at this point? About that. I don't know. This is a bit of a weird one. As I say, I am not entirely sure if traits do anything really, really specific. Maybe there is something that is going to, come into effect when you actually gain a trait. Maybe you're going to be treated differently, or maybe you're going to unlock some kind of benefit. I wouldn't be able to tell you. We're going to do the top option. Yeah, just going to lose 100 gold. I mean, I don't really mind about that at all. Obviously, 100 gold is really nothing to us, so should be perfectly fine. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one because we're basically only gaining trait experience or trait reputation. So yeah, that's generally not something that I'm super concerned with at the moment, but maybe it's actually cool. I don't know. Maybe it's actually going to turn out to be really, really amazing at some point in the future when we actually have the opportunity to, benefit from it in some way. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to now sell our silver ore and the jewelry and so on and so forth that we gained beforehand. As you know, well, maybe you don't know, but I'm going to explain it anyway, just very briefly here. When you gain roguery skill from attacking a caravan, it's based on the amount of profit that you gain, or based on the amount of valuables that you have pillaged. So obviously, because they had a significant amount of jewelry, or at the very least, it's pretty expensive, as you can see right here, that was the reason, I think, that we gained so much roguery skill. So you can see here we're now gaining 3,500. I can also sell a bunch of other pieces of loot, most notably the date fruit a little bit here, and we can maybe sell some hardwood as well, sell the salt, sell the wool, and as you can see we're getting literally almost 7,000 in cash. Actually really, really nice. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to upgrade ourselves a small amount. I'm not going to be going super hard on this because as you can see there doesn't seem to be anything super amazing here. Nothing to really write home about. Actually kind of surprised, to be honest, that there isn't anything better than any of this. But, well, who am I to say, right? Who am I to say? This is crazy. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything super amazing. What about weapons? Do we have anything amazing in regards to weapons here? I'd like to get him a nice two-handed. No, apparently there is basically nothing here. Is it too early game? Maybe it's too early in the game for us to really expect anything super amazing, but okay. Anyway, there is an escort merchant caravan mission here. As you know, this is one of my favorite missions in the entire game, just purely because it provides you with so many benefits. And so we're going to try it out, and we're going to see if we can actually manage to achieve something here. I still have not seen a tournament, by the way. I'd really like to try out that new strategy for leveling up athletics skill, and so let's hope that we are actually able to do that soon. Alright, so here's our first encounter with some raiders. Now, I am actually hoping we gain a spear here. I know, I did sell a spear recently, but, you know, I think it's going to be kind of useful for us. And we're actually going to be doing this. There we go. Let's get these guys into a loose formation, put these fellows out the front here. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. These fellows are gonna just come straight at us with horse archers and some cavalry as well. And generally, actually, you know what? Let's put these guys into a loose formation too. I know that might make it a little bit easier for the cavalry to get past, but I am betting on our forces being able to use their spears effectively, or at least I hope that they will be able to do something like that. Now let's see, can I actually manage to distract a couple of these guys? Yeah, a little bit. Don't get shot in the face now, please, Bruce, I would appreciate it. And yeah, they're already getting murdered. Absolutely perfect, Okay, here we go. I will try to do some damage in the meantime as well, obviously. I don't really want to fight the enemy cavalry, the ones that are actually, you know, having melee weapons. I want to fight the enemy horse archers. They're the ones that really do need to be eliminated. Because our force is going to have a hard time dealing with them. Oh, did you see that? There seems to be some interesting things going on with the... Look at that. The text box appears to move when you move your orders. Or should we say when you get your orders out, it appears to move slightly. As you can see right there, look at that. It moves to the right a little bit. Oh, that's a bit of a snazzy little thing right there. That's pretty nice. Anyway, I'm not sure what that's really going to do for me, but you know, it's a nice little thing that I noticed. Yes. Anyway, we should be completely fine here. Apparently, we are doing much better than anticipated. Obviously, my guy, Nevig, Mr. Bloodaxe is doing a great job. And generally, I would love to get him a two-handed. He has an insane amount of skill in two-handed. I would love to be able to see him in action with that. He would be an utter beast. He would be so extremely strong if he just had a two-handed. Unfortunately, as you saw, there isn't one available in the Vlandian town of Sargot, so we will try to find one nearby. Maybe we'll find one in Lagata, because we are actually on our way there right now. So if we can find one, I'll be very pleased. Let's actually see if we can eliminate this guy. I actually just got a new horse, by the way. This is a charger horse, and it has slightly more stats in every single regard, of course, as you might expect. And there you go. 8.3 renown, actually pretty nice. 12.7 influence, not bad. And look at the amount of level ups we've got going on here. This is crazy good. So we're going to be leveling these fellas up. Once again, I'm not going to go for any cavalry or anything like that right now. Cavalry later on down the line, yes, definitely, but cavalry right now, not so much. I do have to be a little bit careful about herding penalties, I think, because we did just loot 26 Sumpter horses, which may very well impact us a bit negatively, dependent on a number of things. But no, we should be okay. And I've got to be a little bit careful. Yep, as you see here, these forest bandits want to fight. I am going to immediately go in there, just murder them straight up. There we go. They were trying it on. They were trying it on. That's not going to work. I'm sorry. I'm keeping an eye out here. I'm trying to remain as sharp as possible. And oh, there is a Pelosaur. Oh, interesting. This guy's actually a trader. Huh. Pelosaur would actually be really, really nice, to be honest. You know what? Let's get him. Can I get him? Yes, I can actually get him. That is fantastic. I was actually thinking that maybe we would be unable to because, you know, we may have reached the companion limit or something like that. But no. We actually got a little bit lucky here. All right, so let's just sell all of this. I'm just trying to make as much money as possible right now. And there is a spear. This is an absolutely terrible spear, so I probably won't be using it. However, I wouldn't mind seeing if we have... There is a two-handed. Nice. Okay, so we can literally get him a two-handed now. He is going to absolutely destroy with that, or at least I hope he will. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We'll see, I suppose, right? And we are otherwise going to be getting this triangular-headed spear. And we can actually... do we have anything that... let's get rid of the camel, I suppose. There's not much else I can do here. Date fruit sells for a significant amount, actually a surprising amount here. And what is my caravan doing? Is my caravan actually doing anything? It feels like my caravan is not doing anything at all, which is a little bit sad. I'm going to form another caravan, and Pelosaur is going to be the new caravan leader. Hopefully caravans are actually going to be somewhat useful. It feels to me like they may be kind of bad. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully they are not bad in this iteration of the game. We'll see. Oh, there seems to be a very small party of looters that wanted to attack. What? That has to be one of the most annoying features in the game so far. I literally... I don't even understand it. Why would these looters attack this caravan? The caravan is easily able to defend itself in that situation. Where are the raiders, by the way? I don't see any raiders. Usually there'd be another band of raiders here, but apparently they either got themselves defeated by another party or something along those lines. I don't actually know, but seems like, yeah, we are actually making our way to another destination. Very surprising. Let's see, how are we doing? Yeah, we're not moving that fast. I do need to purchase some additional horses, but at the moment, obviously, I don't really have any spare funds. Funnily enough, I think personally, for me, I feel like I invested the influence that we got from that event quite well, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I could have done better with it. Okay, yes, we're just going to attack these guys. Just nice little auto-resolve. Get that out the way. Thanks very much. We'll just take that. There we go. Now, this is probably going to be the final stop. Yep, that is the final stop. And we got 3,400. Look at that. Incredible amounts just from that super, super quick, super, super easy quest. Really appreciate that. And there we go. All right, so let's take a quick look and actually see. Can we get ourselves... I don't want a shield, you see. I don't want a shield. We might be able to get a better piece of armor. Leather scale... Okay, wait a minute. The armor I'm wearing right now has a stealth bonus. That's actually quite funny. Because if you look at it on me, it shows me no stealth bonus. Yeah, as I said in the previous episode, that does need to be implemented or, you know, changed or whatever. It's just a bit of a small display bug, I suppose. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything super, super amazing here as it is. So I will just move on. We are starting to make some money, by the way, from the caravans. They are very small gains, but, well, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully it's good enough. At least for now. Wait a minute, where's the... There we go. I need to find the bound village to the castle, because I would like to recruit a couple more of these Botanians, these noble Botanian units. Because these guys are probably some of the best that you can get in the game, just purely because they don't require any horses. You see, they don't require any horses to level up or anything like that, so that's really, really nice. And indeed, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting combat tips in leadership, going to be getting another focus point in riding skill. We're going to get some more 20% hit points to our mount and various other mounts in our party. And we're also going to be getting duelist. And this actually further compounds the fact that I would really, really desperately want to get into a tournament. It would be pretty fantastic if we could do that. I wouldn't mind fighting these deserters as well. Ooh, they've got some pretty nice units actually. We might even be able to get some, yes. We might be able to get some nice gear. Now, usually deserters are not this powerful, which is actually really nice. It's a nice change. Ooh, I love this battlefield. Look at this. How scenic. It's very, very picturesque. All right, so yeah. Otherwise, let's move on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put them into an auto-delegate. Let's see what auto-delegate actually does. Maybe things are going to go a little bit nicely for us here. Okay, are these guys actually going to kill me instantaneously? They might. It is possible with their thrown weapons. Once they run out of thrown weapons, this is going to be a lot easier, though. Yeah, this spear is going to be very unwieldy for me right now. Because my polearm skill is just awful. But, well, maybe... really, 1 damage. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit. Okay, yeah, so far, things are going okay, I guess. I guess we can't really say whether we're going to actually be able to defeat enemies that are, you know, of a higher caliber, because we're consistently fighting against people like this, where we just dramatically outnumber them. We need to find more caravans, I think. More caravans, maybe some minor faction vassals, maybe some mercenaries that are working for, you know, an enemy kingdom, something like that. I think that would probably be the most sense. But yeah, as you can see, super easy victory. Wow, yeah, probably some of the easiest I've seen. But look, this is what I wanted. Look at what we have now gained. Potential prisoners that we can now convert to our side. Or, if we don't want to convert them to our side, we can literally just go, yes, I will sell them. And then you could do that instead, if you wanted to, which would probably be the way to go here. In this case, because generally Sturgians, I'm not a terribly big fan. Not a terribly big fan of them. I think that they do have some pretty cool, you know, pretty cool aesthetics to them. But obviously, with the Nords coming in, you know, the Nords are not yet available. Of course, they will be available with war sales. Ah, here we go. A man dressed as a nobleman's servant approaches you. I hear that you and Martira aren't on the best of terms. Well, what can you expect from a man who can't manage his own family? I was recently employed at his household, and now... no. And know that his wife was unusually close to her groom. I can spread the word, if you make it worth my while. Okay, so you will not sully a good name of anyone with an obviously false rumor. People will believe a noble's former servant. This man's favor is worth a purse of silver to you, or crack a few jokes to your men at Martira's expense, but otherwise do nothing. Right. So, wait a minute. Huh. This is interesting. Okay, so it says Temian loses 10 influence. And I gain 10 influence. That is actually really... That is a weird thing. I don't know why this would lose Temian 10 influence. And also, 10 influence isn't anything. Like, if you're a vassal, I think that we're talking about Temian here, aren't we? We're talking about Temian, the actual vassal from the Western or Southern Empire or Northern. I don't know. He's from somewhere in the Empire. And generally, him losing 10 influence is nothing. That's not going to do anything to him. Yeah. That's not going to do anything to him. So yeah, I'm just going to take this, I guess. I mean, I could have gotten another 10 influence, but do I really care about 10 influence? Not really. That's not really going to help me that much. There is a caravan ambush right here. However, I'm going to end this episode off right now. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.